Okay, and then just one of these for the non-heating.
You can show people how to do that. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Jan Cameron, and this is Angie, one of our volunteers at the Wells Garden. And today, Angie, if you could help me take some lavender cuttings, that'd be wonderful, because we've ran out of lavender. Lavender is a shrub. Now that means it has a woody stem. You can see how hard these stems are. So come the winter, these stems will not die back. You will still have the structure above the ground. And that's one of the main definitions of a shrub, the woody stems. So the cuttings we're looking for are the small stems that are still attached to the old piece of wood. And if you look at this bit, it is absolutely perfect. So we could take a cutting, say like that. Oops. And I go by the rule of thumb, so it's about the length of my thumb. You've got shorter thumb, so you have to take the bigger one. And then you would just take off the lower petals from the, lost it, the lower leaves. Because you don't want to stress the plant because it's got no roots, so it's going to really struggle to keep these going without roots bringing up water or food. Okay. So that would be one way, and that's about the length we're looking for. Okay. The better way to do it is to find ones like these, which are at the right length, but they're still attached to the woody stem. And then what you're going to do with these is just tear them off. And this is called a heel cutting. And the heel is this little bit of old wood where the new wood joins the old wood, and that's where all the growth hormones are, so that makes an even better cutting. But you don't want a heel cutting that's this length, it needs to be the rule of thumb. Okay. And again, we would have to be taking off the extra leaves, okay? Right, yeah. So if you want to take me a bundle of those, we'll go and pot them up.
Right.
Excellent, well done. And we'll just maybe lay them. Just be a weeny bit careful when you tear the leaves off, that there's a kind of subtle difference between, let me get one. I try to use my nail and pinch it off, because if you tear it, sometimes you tear the outside of the stem.
Oh, I see.
So if you pinch it, so cut it off rather than
with your nail.
And if you can't do that, even a little pair of scissors, a wee pair of nail scissors would be ideal, or a knife. I keep my nails deliberately just long enough to do this. But tearing them you've managed it beautifully, but sometimes you can just rip the stem. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Try for another one.
People are really scared of taking cuttings. I don't know why. Often when I go to someone's house and see a plant I like, and I say, oh, could I take a cutting of that? They look at me as if I'm about to, do brain surgery or something. When it's as simple as this, and the next bit of the process is not that much more difficult. And it's not costing you anything, it doesn't damage the plant. You could get dozens of cuttings off that lavender bush if you wanted to. If you can't get enough of these stem cuttings, heel cuttings, you could take plenty of stem cuttings.
Just the ones from the top?
Yeah. Okay. Just the top growth, exactly, just the top bit on this particular plant.
Do you need more leaves to remove, do you think?
That'll probably be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we're over at the potting table. I've turned this over because it needs to be kept quite clean, because you don't want to introduce anything. Sadly, it's been bucketing all morning, so we've just got a wee gap when we can do it, so hopefully this is clean enough. So my mix here is half sand, half compost. You want it to be a nice free draining medium, because the roots when they start are going to be like very fine hair, so they won't manage to wiggle through the heavy clay soil or anything like that, so it needs to be really light and easily draining. Okay, so we want it to drain well, we don't want it to get waterlogged, so there's a really happy balance here. So this is your mixture. You could probably put about 5 around the outside. I like to open it up like that, put it down, and then just push it back like that. So you're up to where the leaves start. Yeah. Okay. So have a go at that. And a little bit deeper. That's about right. Yeah, perfect. Just hold it to the right level. That's it. That's it. Perfect. Maybe 2 more. You're doing that really gently, which is lovely because you really want to avoid bruising the stem in any way. So it's better to push the soil towards it, just like you're doing, than to kind of pinch it round it. That's perfect. Wonderful. Now that very label, you're going to write its name on. Okay. I know you know what it is today, but once you've taken 50 different kinds of cuttings and stuck them in your greenhouse, you will forget.
I will forget.
Okay, put it in the middle. Now leave it quite high up, because what we would do next is give it a little bit of water, and I've just got a little jug of water here, so if you can make sure they all get a little bit of water. That's it. Oh, you're lovely and careful. Normally I'd have a watering can, but they're miles up the hill. So we'll just do this. Yeah. And then you're going to... Now the beauty of the label is it will hold the polythene bag up like a little tent. So you're going to put that over it like a wee tent. And it will be okay for a few weeks that this is opaque, because you don't want it to burn, you don't want these to scorch. If you put that over it, just to hold it. Now the next thing you need to remember is that they're not able to suck up the moisture, so they will fry really easily, so you can't leave them on a sunny windowsill, so they need to go under the windowsill or under the bench in a greenhouse. Nice if they're warm. If they were really nice and warm, that would be just perfect. Slight shade, nice and warm. You've made yourself a little mist bench here, and they should romp off, and in a couple of months you should have some nice cuttings. Now if I can just show you how to know when they're ready. So every week you would take this off, make sure the soil hasn't completely dried out. You might mist them with a little bit of water if you have an old, you know, bottle
spray.
that you've got to spray with. And then when you think maybe they're beginning to look as if they're showing some new growth, you would just give them a little tug. Now you see, if I tug that, there's no effort, it just slides out. If it's growing roots, when you do that you will feel resistance, and then you'll know that you've cracked it.
They're going.
Yeah. And you can go on and take, if I show you some over here, that was lavender. Here we have sage, we have summer savoury, we have hebes down there, we have rosemary down there. They were all taken, and thyme, even the little thyme, which is technically, I think it's a sub-shrub, but it's, you can see, you can feel the woody stem. Same system, all the shrubs can work like that, and you've got all these plants for an afternoon's work.
Fantastic.
It's good, isn't it? Plants for free, it's wonderful.
Magic, as you
said.
said.
It's not difficult, is it?
Not difficult.
And if you lose them for some reason, you just go and take another batch. It's, you know,